record it to the computer.
All right, it's on the computer, so it started.
Welcome to the Wealth Chat. Today, I am bringing you some partners. We are called the Kingdom Heirs, and we have put together a series of classes, which will be virtual, and we're going to, each class will help you build wealth. So we call ourselves the Wealth Builder. Tonight, I have Michael Jones with us, and Michael is our real estate guru. Hi, Mike.
Hey, how's it going?
Great. Thank you for joining. Today, we're gonna we're just gonna ask you some questions, and I'm sure you'll share some stories with us. But let's start with just tell us a little bit about yourself, Michael.
I grew up in Columbus, Ohio. Went to the Air Force for several years. Actually, that was my first exposure to real estate. I was overseas with a guy, and I was a rookie overseas, and he was supposed to be training me. And come to find out, I ended up training him. But he taught me some lessons over there. He said, "Hey, I'm losing money over here, even though I'm getting hazardous duty pay, overseas pay, all of that." He says, "I'm losing money." I said, "How are you losing money?" He says, "I invest in real estate. I got rentals that I have, and I'm doing flips." And at the time, I was making the most money I ever made, getting overseas pay and hazardous duty pay. And I'm thinking, he was kind of, in my mind, he was dumb because he had more time doing a job than I did, and I was training him. So I felt like he was dumb. But then I was looking at it, I was like, well, if I'm struggling with my $137 car note and he's got a brand new Jeep Grand Cherokee, is he really dumb, or am I the one that's really dumb? Even though I'm training him, so that was my first exposure to it. And I'm like, if he can do it, I know I can do it at some point.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting. And how long have you been in real estate? Let me figure out.
So I got out of service in 96. So 97, I rented an apartment for a year. So I bought my first property in 98, and I bought like 3 of them within that first 6 months. Yeah.
Awesome. I have a few questions. What we've done is compiled a questionnaire that we will require each person that takes your class to answer. And so I'm just going to pose them to you, and maybe this will inspire or trigger some people like, yeah, I need to know how to do this. And one of the questions that we posted today in our Facebook group was, are you ready to purchase your first investment property? And not only your first, sometimes people's first venture is not so good. And so they're a little skeptical about doing their second deal. So whether it's your first, second, third, or fourth deal, definitely we can assist you. So what are some signs that you know a person's ready to do their first deal?
When they're sick and tired of their job, when they want to maximize what they're doing, as far as if they're making good money and they don't have any write-offs, that's one reason they would be ready to go. And they've got money saved up, they already have a budget, and they have a particular amount of money that they're ready to use for a down payment on a property. I would say pretty close to being ready to go.
Okay. And that kind of answers the second question. And so one of the questions we asked, do you own your home? Why is that question important to an investor?
Well, people ask me how to get started investing in property, and I advise them to buy their own property first. If you're paying rent, that's the first thing you want to do, is buy your own property. First-time home buyer. And I try to get people to buy multiple units early on out the gate. If I had a chance to do it all over again, I would buy a 4-unit building. as an owner occupant home, and you only got to stay there for a year, and then you can move out. Now you got 4 units already, and on your credit report it shows as one loan versus buying 4 different properties because you're gonna
Mm,
have to fight to get the loan anyway. So you might as well get 4 to start off if you know that's what you want to do.
right. Now, and for those of you that can see, we have Javen on the line with us too. He's one of our wealth builder partners as well. Um, and so even though he's a partner, he's been going through your program. And so that was the first thing. He's a first time home buyer. Um, you know, how long, it's been a couple of months that we were, almost 6 months really that we've been working with Jabin. And I mean, out of all the investors, we've been hounding him to get that 4 unit. So on that note, Jabin, he is about to close on his first deal, his first home, his 4 unit. So he did take our advice. And Jabin, how has your experience been so far?
Uh, it's been a roller coaster, really, from the beginning. Just especially in this area, it's a small town. Just trying to look for those 4 units. Like Michael and you have always said from the beginning, it's just try to get the 4 units, as many units as you can possible, so you can get that cash flow, and also, like you said, live in one, and save the rent from the your property that you're living in now. So I've been taking that advice. I've been getting several other properties under contract. I was trying to get duplexes, but none of those worked out. And this one finally popped up, and I had to jump on it. So it's definitely been a process, especially going through the inspections and everything. It can be tiresome, but if this is something you want to do, it's a great way to build wealth, and I'm excited to start my journey. So.
I agree. And David, I met through my daughter. So he's younger than us, but we, just have a passion to get people started on their the right path. Because, like Mike said, if we could do it all over again, this is the way that we would go. And just to share a little story, I kind of started working with Javen first, but when he wasn't listening to me, I'd get Mike. And it's about a male's voice. That's one thing I can honestly say about you, Javen, to give you credit, because there's a lot of people that don't want to be told what to do. And I'm just using those words, but
I always listen to you.
but what I'm saying is that, you were always humble, because I think by the time I got Mike involved, you were about to buy a 1 unit family house. And so I was like, I know you didn't know me like that, and I didn't know you like that, but it took me a couple of days to speak up and say, man, I wish you bought a 4 unit. And so we had a discussion, but by the time Mike got on the line, you had already put money down and everything. And he was like, get your money back. Matter of fact, he was like, you might even lose. I got to plug up my phone. My battery's about to go dead. Sorry about that. But, talk about your experience. Oh, sorry, you guys. Your experience with Mike and how his expertise got you to where you are today.
Well, his expertise in that first deal that I was going for a condo. Really, I wasn't. I was looking towards the future of getting a property where I could rent it out, but I wasn't looking in terms of total cash flows, maximizing my cash flow. So if I would have had just 1 unit, I would be living there until I moved out, and then I would be renting it out. And Mike, he kind of came in, he gave me his advice and just said, he said, I don't think it's a good deal. I mean, if you want to get to where you want to be in the future, financially, I mean, it's a step that could get you there, but it's not the best step. And so him opening up that door and making me see the better decision that I could make was it was crucial because I was right there. It was a couple weeks away from closing or so. I had already put my earnest money in, and we were just finishing up a few things. So for him to step in and give me that advice, and then to absolutely get to this point in the span of 7 months to where I'm getting a 4 unit, it's an amazing turnaround. And I definitely appreciate his guidance as well as yours throughout that entire process, because I could be sitting in a condo right now, paying thousands of dollars per month, and not receiving anything back in terms of cash flow. So definitely appreciate the advice. Yeah.
How old
And
are
so,
you,
Mike, I'm sorry.
How old are you, David?
How old am I?
Yeah.
24.
I mean,
So, Mike, you were very stern. I'm going to use those words, stern. You were straight to the point. You were no chaser. And so as you're mentoring, it doesn't matter what age you are, but when you're walking someone through their process, tell me about why that approach.
well, I would like to use some tact and be, nice and cozy or make somebody feel good. But at the end of the day, for me, I'm like, I've made a lot of mistakes in the real estate game. I also made a lot of money, and I've helped other people make money. So I know, the things that I've done. You don't have to step in the same potholes. If I had to go back and do it all over again, I was scared to go big early because I didn't know what I was doing. And if I would have got a 4 unit early, like him at 25 years old, he's only got to stay there for a year. After 25, he can go do that again. 26, he can have eight. He can have 8 units under his belt within 2 years, and only have 2 loans on his credit report. Because after you get so many properties, which is something else I didn't know, they try to limit you to how many loans you can have once you get up in properties.
I've
But
been there myself.
yeah, so if you get a 4 unit building, that's only one loan. So you don't know that until you get to the part where now you got 10 loans, and they're like, we're not going to loan to you no more because
Right.
you got 10 loans. But
High
if you
debt.
got 4 units apiece, now you can get up to 40 instead of 10. So plus
That is some good info.
on the multi-units.
Yes, that's good information. And Javen's getting ready to close on June 20th. So we're excited. It was worth the wait because you were learning along the way for sure. So Mike, you have on here that you asked the question, do they play the cash flow game?
Yeah. So
why is that a requirement?
A lot of people want to get into investing, but I don't think they know what it all entails. And I mean, the cash flow game helps me, and it would help them because it's a roller coaster. They're going to go through some ups and downs. They're going to get downsized in the game. They're going to have a baby in the game. So in the game, there's going to be some things that happen to you just like in real life. And it actually, your mind doesn't know the difference between it being a game and it being real life. Mm-hmm. So the things that you get upset about, if you can work them out in the game, you can then translate that into real life. So when, like today, I had an inspection on the property that it didn't appraise for what I thought it should appraise for. And I already split the money for the appraisal. Now you can say, oh man, I lost that money. I did this, I did that. But I'm like, I'm not worried about it. Just keep it moving because, there's plenty of deals coming. There's plenty of money coming in. So I don't let that type of stuff get me down. And a lot of it is attitude. If you can keep a positive attitude throughout it, it's just better for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Awesome. So true. And then we meet once a week and just hearing different points of view. There's different points of view that you can use at different seasons in your real estate journey. Like, oh, I remember what Mike said. Like you gave Javen some good advice because he's getting ready to move in. It's fully rented, but one has to be empty. and you gave him excellent advice, like, hey, why don't you just go and say, hey, how can we get you out, type deal, without going through an eviction. And that's embarrassing. That's costly. So that was good advice that you had given him the other day. You also asked people, do they know what a good deal looks like?
And that's another reason why to play the game, because if you're a doctor, you have a lot more money that you can play with to take out loans. And if you're a janitor, you don't have as much money. So if they got the same deal, just let's say a 3-bedroom, 2-bath house, and the payment is, or the down payment is like $5,000, and you're taking a negative $100 cash flow. If you're the doctor, you got enough money even if you don't have the actual cash to take out a loan for that property. But if you're the janitor, you have to pause on that same deal, because if you had a baby, 3 babies, now your cash flow may not be enough to handle taking a negative $100 negative cash flow on a deal. So just because it's a good deal for somebody doesn't mean it's a good deal for you. And by playing the game, you'll be able to tell what a good deal is to you, because one good deal may not be a good deal for you. So it's your situation and your circumstance, and the deal determines if it's a good deal for you. But you won't know that unless you play the game or had some experience being in a situation. Should I take a loan out? Should I not? You got to be in that environment before you can tell if it's a good deal for you or not.
That's good information. And just, I want to throw in here that I met you at a cash flow game. We were looking for a cash flow game. I purchased the game, come to find out, I met you at a game, and then we've been playing ever since. And so one of the things that I just, I'm so impressed with you is that you are quick with numbers. So I hang around you just so that I can get sharper with being able to calculate the numbers real quick. That's important because this is a numbers game. Wouldn't you agree?
Absolutely. And it's just a repetition. I run numbers every day. I look at real estate every day. I try to play the cash flow game every day. So I'm just running numbers every day on real life deals and in the cash flow game. So after you just run them every day, you get quicker and better at it.
Now, that's some good advice for someone coming along. Like, how do I get better at it? There's a way to do that. And also, since we've been quarantined, we've learned how to go on and play it virtually. Now, you also, you say, do you know how to determine the PITI?
Yeah, PITI is principal, interest, taxes, and insurance. So unless it's a condo or you got homeowners association fees, that's how much it's going to cost you to purchase that property. So and if you got a lender, they'll help you figure that out. But if you can do the math on your own, you can do the legwork on the deals, because if it's a good deal, it's not going to stay on the market for long. And if you're talking to a homeowner, you need to know, how much is it going to cost you to own that property, and then have sort of an idea of how much you can rent it out for, so you can determine how much the cash flow is going to be and if that's a good deal for you or not. So the better you are at running the numbers, I think the more successful you'll be, because you're not guessing and you don't have to ask other people. You can get a ballpark for yourself. And then that will help you determine and give you the confidence to move forward on deals.
And that's one of the things we did with Javen. We, whenever he found a property that he was interested in, we all ran the numbers. And so when he sits down at that table, there's not going to be any surprises. Or if that number is not, we could, narrow it down to the penny. So if he gets there and there's an extra 5,000, he knows to question that, because that wasn't in the numbers. So, because a lot of times they will put extra things in the contract that should be there. So I do recommend that people do read, when you close, read your paperwork, and make sure all the numbers match. You also have the market rents and the ROI.
Yeah, so if The best way to determine market rents is to try to figure out what your zip code is and what type of unit it is. I mean, if it's a 4 bedroom or 3 bedroom, one bath, well, how much do the other 3 bedrooms, one bath go for? Um, so I do a couple different things. You can go on rental meter and put your information in rental meter. It'll give you a good estimate about how much it'll rent for in that area. And I also call uh, rentals in the same area. I'll drive up and down the streets and figure out if anybody's got a property for rent and ask them, how many bedrooms and how many baths and how much they're renting for to see exactly, how much they're paying. And if I see anybody standing around the property, do they own it? Do you rent? If you rent, how much do you rent for? You know what the rent is going for. And I just ask them. And most of the time they'll tell me. And that's the best way to figure out what it's really renting for.
And that's important because when you buy it, so if the tenants are already paying like $695, but then you find out that people in the area are paying $800, then you can definitely increase your rents and bring it up to the market value. So that's money that you leave on the table if you don't take advantage of it. So Mike, is there anything you want to leave us with today that I didn't ask or that we didn't cover?
There's a lot of stuff going around right now in the nation. There's Black and brown people getting killed from police. And I'm not happy about it at all. And so I want to play my part. And my part is I know how to do this real estate thing. And if I can get other people to do the same thing I'm doing, I feel like they can get money, equity, and have some kind of power, because I feel like it's not equal, but that is part of the situation too, is that we don't have the same kind of money, stance, and power. So I feel like if if I can help people to get to that level, then I feel like I'm playing my part.
Awesome. And when people sign up for your class, what can they expect?
They can expect the real deal, no fluff. I mean, if they're looking for something to feel good, this is the wrong class. This is not a feel good class. This is a real class. We need to look at the numbers. We need to look at what you're doing. Why are you doing it? And figure out, is that the best way to go? I mean, no feel good is for real class, for real results.
Right. So, and this week we'll share testimonies. I have people been flooding testimonies in on how you've helped them with their real estate, and that's the key thing. A lot of times we take these real estate classes, and you go and you sit through these conversations, and then you pay, you get a book, and then you get invited to the next level, and then they're asking for 30,000-40,000. By the time you finish, you done spend all your money in these classes, and you still don't have a property. So I'm proud to say that not only will you help them with deals, but if there's some deals that they need a coach, that you're that person that will make sure that they get what they actually want out of the deal, and that's the investment property. So, Javen, did you have anything else to say you want to add that we're missing? Because, like I said, you went through the program, so.
Now, if you, like you said, if you want results, take his class.
Look, he's smiling. He getting ready to come into something. Javen works a full-time job, but pretty soon, if you decide to keep working, that's up to you, but you'll be making more than you are on your job, which that excites me. That excites me. So would you still keep working if your property is generating that type of money?
That's a great question. Kind of like what Mike said. my dream is to, leave my African American community in a better place than I entered into it. And so the job I'm with now, I mean, it affects the world in a great way, but I feel like I could provide more help to my people by teaching them how to build wealth, create businesses, and where, like you said, that's what controls the power in this country is money, property. Unfortunately, that's what it is. So I want to help my community grow and build.
And there's a difference when you go to your 9 to 5 because you have to go every day.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a difference when you're sitting there and you're not there for the money. There's a big difference. So, but I thank you all for joining this conversation. It was so powerful. And I know that when people watch it, they're going to be truly blessed and elevated and inspired and motivated to take advantage of real estate. And Mike, we're just so blessed that you're the face of the brand for the real estate, and also you're the person behind it because you have a heart for the people, and that's priceless, just that piece alone. So thank you.
No problem. No problem. Thanks for having me, and hopefully we can change some lives.
Excellent. So look forward to the classes. We're almost there. We're building our website. We have T-shirts coming. We have all the instructors are on fire, ready to deliver. So integrated. We're planning around July to launch our first classes. So hope to see you there. Bye for now.